So let's go ahead and move on. So let's talk about the animated Injustice movie by DC. So it officially released on Tuesday, October 19th. The reason I said officially is because the Injustice movie got leaked like 2 weeks ago. So I watched the leaked movie. I can't even find the official release. Like, they didn't even put it on HBO Max. Like, this is where all the DC stuff is going, and you didn't put the movie on HBO Max?
Shout out to McMillian for getting us the link.
Huh? What? Who?
Right. But
What you talking about?
Our local pirate.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that from him. But what I want to know is you guys' overall rating for the movie, and I guess your overall experience with the movie. We've talked about this before, and I have toned down, so I will be civilized. I will be civilized for this review. But to start with me, I have to give Injustice a 4. It should have kicked off a series of movies. That's if I'm going high level, because I have a lot of complaints. But high level, it shouldn't have been a solo dolo film. The way they ended it made it seem like it was going to be solo dolo, but it should have ended to where more things from Injustice could have played into the animated version of it, because the Injustice comic takes place over a 5-year span. So you really can't shove 5 years into one movie. And they didn't. And I have a problem with that. And if they didn't want to make it a series of movies, they should have just made it an animated series. That's so much material, not even counting Injustice 2 if they wanted to go that route. But if they wanted to do a season for each year, that's 5 seasons off the bat. And you can't say that you're not going to make money off of it, because the Injustice story is one of my favorite stories from DC. And I'm pretty sure
it's a pretty big event in general.
That too. It affects the whole DC universe. So with people watching Young Justice, of course, if you put out Injustice, which is basically a Justice League, alternate universe Justice League type series again, of course you're going to get people to watch it. Because Young Justice, they're getting older now, but when Young Justice first started, they were focusing on the younger heroes. So this just would have been a dive back into the older heroes that we got in the Justice League back in the early 2000s. My other issue that I had with the movie is that they ripped a lot out of the comic books that were vital to the story. And I know why they did it, because they were trying to make it one movie. And if they had put some of those pieces in there, it would not have allowed the Injustice movie to be one movie. But at the same time, you ripped out vital pieces of the story. And I have not seen a DC movie yet that has done that. They might have changed some things, tweaked some things, but they always kept the meat of the story. They always kept the heart of the story. That even if you were to go back and read the graphic novel that the movie is based off of, you're not that upset about the stuff that they changed, because it's like a small tweak here and there. But I did like the beginning. If you want to know, what I did like the beginning. The way they did go straight comic book with the beginning, but the beginning is what grabs you. The Joker got Superman, and it reminds you how easy of a mark Superman is. But
I do like the fact that Joker mentioned that, like, oh, this was easy. Like, going against you, Brucey, that's kind of tough. Let me go for an easy mark to start over. Let me make myself feel better. And it's like, oh, who's the easy mark? Superman.
But the thing is that I enjoyed is that look what he did, and he called it an easy mark. And then look at the stuff that he sets up for Batman, And the stuff that he sets up for Batman is no way on the scale of what just went down at the beginning of this movie. Like, he murders a couple people. Like, in Batman sense, the Joker murders... He does murder people. But he just wiped out a whole city. Gotham City is still standing with a man with no superpowers fighting a clown. And you have the Kryptonian. Whole city got wiped out. So
I think that's kind of what he was saying. Like, to go against Superman, you don't need like all the genius intellect, because for Batman, I mean, he's trying to wipe out Gotham a whole bunch of times, and the way he does is like, you got to go here, stop this. You got to like XYZ things, and for Superman, it was kind of like, all right, we're just gonna put a bomb here.
Do one explosion.
Right.
Make him kill his boo.
He was chilling. Like, he was chilling. Yeah, we're just gonna put this stuff around here. It's fine. Harley's like, are you sure we don't need to, have a backup plan? No, we're fine. We're fine.
It's just Superman, the Man of Steel. It's just him.
It's just Superman. It's just the Kryptonian. We're fine. But that was my rating. So what about you guys?
Let me go next, Jay, because to the audience, call me a lowly casual if you want to. You can. Being friends with Portia and Jay has definitely expounded my intrigue into comics and superheroes specifically. I had to go back and watch a lot of the DC animated movies and watch them in order thanks to HBO Max, and I enjoyed them. I didn't grow up on the comic books. I watched the Justice League cartoons. I watched Superman versus Batman and all those other shows. But I have to say, I enjoyed the Injustice movie. It was a really fun watch. It was a really fun watch. I would arguably have to give it like a 6.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Seeing Superman go dark, it was fun. Seeing that dynamic, seeing him and Bruce arguing and it was an entertaining watch. Wonder Woman trying to come in and be like, "Ooh, now that your girl dead, let me come in and make my mark," and then figuring out like, I don't like him no more. It was a fun watch. Oh, the only way to beat Superman is with another Superman at the ending. I was like, you know what?
He didn't beat him though.
He didn't, but it made sense. I was like, how do you beat him? I, as a lowly casual that I am, I will admit, I enjoyed it. But I have to be fair. Some of the audience, of course, didn't get these conversations when we did talk about it. But taking into consideration how the video games went, and taking into consideration that Portia made a really strong fact that the timeline is over the course of 5 years exactly, Portia. They did. I did notice that movie definitely could have expanded into probably 3 to 5 movies, or even turn into a TV series. And to be honest,
it would have been long, because the Injustice comic book is what happens before the video game, and then and then there's a comic that happens before Injustice 2 as well. So it definitely would have had to been long. So.
See, and to be honest, because I enjoy, like, as a lowly casual, I'm not going. Y'all can murder me if y'all want to.
He keeps saying that to justify the fact that he likes this movie, but I'm gonna let him have it.
I got to defend myself. I got to put up a shield real quick. But even hearing that explanation of, hey, they should have expanded this, that would have made me appreciate it even more. Because from my mindset, I did pretty much enjoy this movie. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 7 as above average, but in terms of like high average, and I've seen other DC animated movies, and I thoroughly enjoyed those. But knowing that, I guess the reason I'm giving it a 6.5 now is also because I've heard Jay's and Portia's opinions prior, seeing that they did derail some stuff and took some stuff out. Having watched other series and animes where they've done that, and seeing what the casual audience missed out on, I can understand that, but I'll have to say a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing to say to you. I don't have nothing to say to you.
Okay, so
I ain't got nothing to say to you.
I guess I'll be the great equalizer here. I have two different opinions of this movie. From a casual viewing perspective, I think this is probably a 6. It gives you people to care about. It gives you storylines easy to follow, and it's not, and to me, it never felt convoluted or contrived. It followed a decent structure. And that originally was my original rating for it, even as someone who did read the Injustice comic.
Let's go, Jay.
But hold on. But however, if you go over and check out a channel called Gurren Otaku Council, there is an episode 1. Their reviews Demon Slayer's episode where they somewhat did something similar to this, and I laid into that. So I would not be doing justice if I didn't do the same for this movie. So with that in mind, I kind of have to agree with Phthp on this, that the true rating probably should be lower, around maybe a 4.5. I'm not going to say hard 4, because I do think this is still a good movie, but to the people that have not read this comic, you were robbed an experience, and that's not good. There's a lot more to even besides outside Batman and Superman, because that's truly kind of what Injustice somewhat focused on at its core. The comic spreads out and like makes, I mean, the movie tried to do it, but like Oliver Queen's a very important character. How does Harley deal with the death of Joker is also super big. And this one is kind of just reduced down to jokes. You have how Bruce and Damian's relationship was fractured after the events of this movie. I'm not going to touch into it too much because I don't know if we're doing spoilers, but a lot happened, and it did not affect just the big 2 or big 3, being Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. It branched out and touched everybody within the Justice League. It fractured the Green Lantern Corps. Other corps had to get involved. People from different worlds and galaxies. It was a whole mess. The Pantheon got involved, and this movie doesn't even touch on half.
The Greek gods got involved.
Yeah, so it's like, if I go with it with that, and if I can't let an anime get off easy, I definitely can't let DC comics get off easy. So I probably say, I won't go as hard as a 4 because I still think this is a good movie. But it's definitely a 4.5 because knowing what was robbed from you, because this should have been a series. Honestly, I don't think after reconsidering this, it should have been a series. I don't think it should have been a series of movies. I think it should have been an animated series. Year 1 should have been a season. Year 2 should have been a season. Year 3 should have been a season. Year 5 should have been a season. The game, what happened in the games, necessarily doesn't need to be recovered. But if they did, those could have been movies because those actually have like a start here, end here type of story. But the coverage of Injustice 1 comic from years 1 through 5 should have been a series, and the same thing for Injustice 2 comic years 1 through, I don't remember how many years Injustice 2 had, or if it had.
I stopped reading Injustice after a while. I'm not sure how long it lasts.
But those should have been seasons. This should not have been a movie. Because I actually think it's really hard to have figured out what they would take out and what they would leave in. But I think, to go back to it, if you're a casual person, you've never read any of the comics and you just came here for a good time, Ryan's rating, I think, is fair. I think a 6 or a 6.5, you got it. If you are a person that came here looking for comic accurate stuff, or like even it doesn't even have to be comic accurate, but like maybe the weight that Injustice had in the comic, you're not going to get that. And unfortunately, that's why I have to give it like a 4.5, because it's an enjoyable movie. I did not dislike watching it as a viewer, but if I were to, let's say I just read the Injustice comic before watching this, I would be highly upset.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's my thing. And I can't separate it. I can't separate the casual watcher from the person who's read the comics. I can't. I'm sorry. So it's going back to McMillian's point. It's like, I know what you guys have been robbed from. And if you're not going to be upset about it, it's fine. I'll be upset for you. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm not upset at Ryan for enjoying the movie.
Oh, you're not?
No. I told you I toned I told you I toned down. I did. I toned down. I'm not upset for you for liking the movie because, I mean, that's your opinion. You know, it's a lot of movies that we think are like the bee's knees, and then some people are like, "Oh my god, why do you like that?" You know, It's the same thing. I guess I'm just coming from the point that, like I said, this is one of my favorite stories from DC. So I had high expectations when they said they were doing an animated movie, and I just had my expectations crushed. So yeah, I am going to rage about this. But before we move on, for those watching on YouTube or even those listening, put in the comments what your opinion about the movie was. What's your rating? Do you agree with me, the hardcore comic, or the casual watcher, Ryan, or are you neutral like Jay? So let us know. And if you're listening, you can DM us on Instagram, Twitter, wherever you're following us, and let us know what's up. What's up, y'all? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get more updates from the mob. For the full discussion and more discussions like this one, click the link in the description. Thanks for watching.
Rock with it, let me pop my shit. Let me pop my shit. Hands up.